Alright everybody, today we're going to do a little feeding video here on my native tank. Have a little chat about it while we watch the fish frenzy in there. I did go fishing today and I went out the reservoir and got nothing. There was no activity, no nothing going on. So I wound up going to a little community pond not far from here. The deep end of the pond is maybe waist deep or something, so such a small body of water tends to warm up a lot faster than a large body like the reservoir. And the fish were already quite active in there. I saw a lot of sunfish, but none of them showed any interest in my bait, so they're probably getting into spawning condition. But I did catch several bass today that all would have been a great size to put in this tank. However, bass are off limits in Maryland until after the spawn is over, so I cannot bring any bass home until June 15th or later. So that will be down the road a piece. But in the meantime, we've got all of these various shiners in here, these little minnows, so we're going to go ahead and put some flake food in, and they go pretty much nuts. So they can already tell it's coming. And I usually put quite a lot in because there's a lot of fish and they go through it fast. So I do this once a day. And I will usually also break up some algae wafer, and I'll throw some algae wafer in there so that the crayfish down on the bottom get something. And maybe 3 days a week I will also put some sinking shrimp pellets in there so that there's a little higher protein type food in there for the crayfish, or any of the fish want to nibble off the bottom, they'll be able to do that. So that was quite a lot of food I put in there, and it's pretty much gone already. It doesn't look like the fish down to the right got any of it. And if you can see the crayfish there off to the further right hand side, he can tell there's food in the tank, or I should say she can tell there's food in the tank, but is still running around. So let me get over there and try to throw some sinking algae wafers in there. I usually break them up into a lot of small pieces, so this will be 2 algae wafers, and it tends to get spread around a little bit if you can break it up. So pretty soon the crayfish will find that. I do have several crayfish in there now. I've also got darters, and I believe I have a couple of sculpins in there. I'm not 100% on the sculpins, but I'm pretty sure I've got some, and I know I've got darters in there. And I think darters are going to be a little tricky to feed, with this not being a real natural environment. There's not going to be any worms in the substrate. There's not going to be any microcrustaceans in the substrate. See, there goes that crayfish across that rock. He knows the food's in there somewhere. He's just got to find it. Doesn't take him long. She had made her way all the way down to her cave, which is sort of on the other end of the tank towards the left, and she came up out of her cave and came out and got those algae wafers. I've also made an order from Amazon for some more equipment for this tank, so I'm going to be making some changes to this tank come tomorrow afternoon or the following day. So make sure you're subscribed, you won't miss that. I'm not going to get into what I'm going to do just yet. We'll make a separate video about it, but there is going to be a minor change to this tank, and that will allow me to make a minor change to my angelfish tank. So stay tuned for videos on both of those. See, now you can see she has actually gotten a hold of some of those algae wafers. She'll probably pick one up and then take it away somewhere and go underneath some rocks and just take it with her and eat it there. She may sit where she is and eat it for a little while. It just depends on how much fish activity she gets around her. I really like the way those golden shiners pack together so tightly and create such a nice dense shoal. And the rosy side dace in there do the same thing. They pack together very tightly, and they love getting in front of that power head and facing into the current and just swimming upstream, so to speak, or just sitting in the current like that. So this tank is really shaping up to be interesting, and I haven't really even begun getting the larger, more substantial specimen type fish in here yet. Just these shoaling fish make it a lot of fun. So we might just enjoy it this way for a little while, because once I do get some larger fish in here, the smaller fish are probably going to get devoured and broken up, or just go to ground and start hiding, for their lives, because even something like a sunfish in here will voraciously eat anything it can fit in its mouth. So those little darters on the bottom will be in danger. Any small sunfish will be in danger. That little school of fish you can see right there, top dead center, those will be snack size for a lot of fish in here. So this tank is going to change significantly as we move into the warmer weather. So we should just get a chance to enjoy it while we can. I can see another crayfish has just come out sort of to the left third of the tank where that big group of fish is. It's a smaller one that's crawling up on that rock right there. I don't know if that's coming out on camera or not. But that's about it. I just wanted to get some a little bit of that feeding frenzy. I know it doesn't last long. This was supposed to be a feeding video, and that only lasts for the first 30 seconds, and then it's done. I can't imagine the way they say on the most packages of fish food will say to give your fish all the food they can eat in 2 to 3 minutes. You just saw how much those fish devoured in 30 seconds. Can you imagine if I just kept putting food in there at that rate for 2 to 3 minutes? I would be overfeeding this tank so heavily. It's ridiculous. As it is, I already put a lot of food in there, and that's once a day. So keep all that in mind. The amount of food that your fish can eat in 2 to 3 minutes is an awful high amount of food, because fish tend to be pretty greedy. They eat as much as they can as fast as they can, as long as the food keeps coming. And if you feed them until they're satiated and you've got leftover food, you're definitely feeding them too much. They do not need to eat until they're satiated. That's way too much food for them. So thanks for watching. Again, I'd ask you to subscribe. Got lots of stuff coming up here in the near future, especially with this tank in particular. We're going to be doing a lot. This is my native tank. Thanks again for watching it. Hope you enjoy it. See you real soon in the next one.